Hello, I'm sitting here with Linda Leake. She's been in Costa Rica for many years, and she has a very interesting story. I think you'd like to hear her story, and so that other people who are thinking of moving here can get an idea of what it's like to come down to Costa Rica. Why don't you tell us, Linda, what brought you here?
Okay. I've lived in Costa Rica for more than 30 years and been happy for the whole time to live here. The reason we came here was that we were living in Northern California, and my husband retired when he was relatively young, and I was still working, particularly at a job I wasn't very happy with. So when he retired, we were looking for some other place we could live that was less expensive than California, where the weather would be nice, where we think that we would adapt fairly well. So my husband came down to Costa Rica for a month and traveled all over the country to get a feel for the place, and came back and said, you know, I think you're going to have some things to adjust to because it's a different country, but I think that we would do okay there. So I said, fine. And about 7 months later, we moved here.
Linda has a very interesting life here. She's very active. Her husband passed away, but she keeps herself busy. For a lot of Americans, there's a lot to do if you just get off the couch and you're active. Why don't you tell us about some of the things you do, Linda?
Okay. In the past, I spent a good number of years teaching English.
Linda's been here a while, and she keeps very active. Her husband passed away, and as a single woman, it's really admirable how she involves herself in things and keeps busy. Why don't you tell us about it, Linda?
For a number of years, I was teaching English, so that kept me pretty busy. But now that I'm fully retired, I have a lot of activities with friends and other social activities. Frequently with friends, we go out together for either breakfast or lunch, particularly because most of us who are older are not comfortable driving at night. So I frequently go out with friends during the day. In addition, I'm a member of the board of directors of the local residents association, so I have monthly meetings for that. Also, there's a very active women's group here called the Umbrella Club that has many special interest groups that you can be part of as well. Another activity that I really enjoy is the monthly gathering of the Wine Society. This is one where you have an experience of wine matched with food. We go to a restaurant and we have 4 courses of food with 4 wines and an opportunity to socialize with people that may not be the people in your neighborhood or people that you see every day.
Why don't you tell us about your language group you work with?
Okay. Another thing that I do regularly once a week is a Spanish-English conversation group. I've been going to this group for more than 20 years, and it's a group of people, both Costa Rican and people from the US or Canada or any other English-speaking country. And we meet once a week to share our experiences of speaking both English and Spanish. Often we read something in one language or the other, and then we ask each other questions, we share ways to say things, and we also share things socially. So it's been a real positive experience for me and very helpful in keeping up my ability to speak Spanish.
I imagine you've made a lot of good friends, too, interacting with people.
Yes, that's true. Being in that group has widened the group of friends that I had. But also, one of the things that happens here is sometimes the people from the U.S. who are not happy after 5 or 10 years move back to the U.S. But then new people come and you make new friends. Another reason for that is also medical needs. Sometimes people move back to the U.S. to use Medicare. However, for me, I have been more than happy with the medical care and the dental care in Costa Rica. Not only is it significantly less expensive than in the U.S., but the quality of care is very good. And the personalized care from the doctors and dentists is really amazing. And I have been, as I said, more than happy with it.
Tell me, Linda, what else do you like about Costa Rica? I know you love the country, but there must be some other things, weather or what else?
Okay. Yes, the weather in general is a whole lot better, definitely of the Northeast where I lived when I grew up. Most of the time, the temperature is between 70 and maybe 83. It's unusual to have it out of those two limits. You have to be accustomed to the fact that half of the year is going to be the rainy season and half of the year is going to be the dry season. But one adapts to that, and it's certainly not extreme in either direction. Okay. Another thing I like about Costa Rica is the people here. In general, they're very warm. They like people from the U.S. They are helpful to you whenever they can be, and it's a very pleasant environment to live in. Also, in the time that I've lived here, I've lived in 5 different locations. My husband and I alone have always rented. We have not bought any property here. But I have been extremely happy both with the places where I've lived and the neighborhoods and with the landlords that I've had. I would say even more pleased than I've been with renting experiences in the U.S.
Okay. I wanted to thank you, Linda, for giving me a few minutes of your time to tell your story. Many expats who move here will echo Linda's sentiments, a love for Costa Rica. And thank you, Linda.
You're welcome.